Fellas, we're back. Episode 3 of The Elder Circle. Please excuse the lapse in time. I got a new puppy, had some family stuff, good stuff going on. So I had to deal with all that, some adulting. But we are back. And in the wake of the absence, we had a tragedy occur. And that's what we're going to focus on today. The title, pretty much the focus is just looking for love in all the wrong places, where it seems like we do that quite a bit, being transmasc men, particularly transmasculine men. Then I'll explain why, particularly transmasculine men, shortly. Before I go on, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, share all of this stuff with any trans guys that you feel like can use it. This is not for popularity, it's absolutely for purpose. I could give a shit about clicks, but I absolutely want each man that can benefit from this information. I want it to reach his ears, and anyone that is just curious to hear the real and not a second or third hand opinion from a person that's outside looking in, or might know someone that's trans or falls under some fucked up umbrella that is not ours. You're welcome. All right, let's get into it. So we all know that we had a brother Sam Norquist, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I may be pronouncing that wrong. I apologize if I am. Unalived in a very brutal way a couple weeks ago now. Obviously, there's been no press coverage. It was due to the fact that, he was who he was. He's a trans man, transmasculine man. He went to go visit a woman that he had met online, you know, fell for the representative, and there are pictures up, so she definitely, they met, and she posted him online, my baby, and dropping those words, man. That's why I said you got to love yourself. You can't fall for king and somebody who tries to over validate you, because that is sign number one that they don't really see you for who you are, and they see the weakness in you of you not seeing yourself as the man you are. So a woman, for example, in uh, bio male cis, whatever you want to call it, in male female relationships, a woman doesn't have to walk up to a man and be like, I think you're a man. I mean, listen how fucking stupid that sounds. He would probably look at her and be like, what? Especially in today's society, she get called all kinds of itches. But yeah, so beware of that part. And you can always see it in social media posts, especially because you don't see people walk around going, "Hey, I got feet. I got feet. Guess what? I got feet. Hey, I got feet." That's kind of the same thing. If you know that you have 2 feet, we can see those 2 feet, so we know there's no need to scream it to the rooftops unless you're insecure about something else. Maybe you only have 4 fingers or something like that, 430 on each hand. So Sam and I spoke on Messenger a few times, and this was before he met the lady, and he seemed a little lonely then. And we even talked about him getting in shape to meet somebody, and affirming his body and looking like the man he wants to be. And this is something that everybody goes through, but you know saying and doing are two different things, and the less you do and the more you say, the more susceptible you'll be to evil motherfuckers like excuse my language, to evil people like the ones that he ran into. I've done it before. So, please believe I'm not sitting on a perch speaking. Every time I sit here and I talk, it's because I'm talking from a lens that I only know, because I've done it. I'm trying to help you see more clearly, because people didn't give a shit when I was going through it. I was entertainment. And that's usually how it is. The only person that I heard say I told him not to go was his mother. And that's so heartbreaking, because he had a mom that actually loved, respected him, cared for him, wanted to see him become the man he is, acknowledged the man that he was, you know? And that's all the more heartbreaking, because we know what it's like when you're a pariah to everyone around you. And then today it's no better, because you have these stains representing us in in the ugliest ways. And Sam was a really, really good, nice, good person. Now, the problem, nice. You can't be nice and be a man. You ask any man around you that you know. Ask your father, ask your brothers, friends of yours that are biologically male. You can be a good man, but the nice guy, either he's the one that's going to screw you over or he's going to get screwed over. And that's an unfortunate social construct of our society. Sociology is a real thing. How you are raised, how you are socialized is a real thing. If you look at the men in the photos, you can tell they're the type of guys that would have, would have bothered him. Being vulnerable is a really cool part of being us. But you have to learn who deserves that. How do you learn that? Shadow work. What is shadow work? Facing your shit, all the stuff that you try to hide, the things that you don't want people to know about you. Facing why. Like, for example, why did I choose what I had to face? What about me is making me choose these women over and over again that are breaking my heart and stepping on it and shit, and I'm getting fooled and played. When I finally turned that finger to me for real and I actually said, okay, what is it about you that, because it's the same person coming in a different body. And if you look back on your exes, usually that's how it is. Where most people are wrong is they don't do the second part of, okay, what did I do in this? When you could do that part and you can assess, man, you start to open doors of power that you never knew you had before. Your empathy only grows because you can really see people for who they are. You start to see who's doing the work and who's not. You're not enticed by words like king. Some woman comes to you and tell you, I see you as a man. Me too, bitch. Thanks. Shave your top lip. I see you as one too. I'm kidding. But seriously, and this is in all parts of life. This bleeds into everywhere because it's not just your partner that's like this to you and you're allowing it. It's your boss, might be a couple friends with those underhanded jokes, maybe some circles that you've tried to get yourself into with, be one of the guys and somebody finds out and then, or they know already. Maybe even with, your past lesbian groups that you used to roll with. I can't speak too heavily on that because I didn't hang out with a lot of lesbians. They didn't like me. I ain't like them neither, did it? But no, really, they didn't like me. I didn't give a shit. I'm a man, baby. I've run into people being, I hate the fucking word passable, being able to blend into society and be hidden in plain sight. Not saying I'm lying because I never have and I never will. Um, but I don't walk into rooms announcing because what the fuck? Who does? Like, who does that? I live life. I transition to be Liam. I didn't transition to be a soundboard. And when I do sound off, it's not through emotion, it's through facts, figures, percentages that could, rebut anyone. And I say anyone because you will not have me sitting on anybody's panel looking like a fool. Your mama, not me. Everybody's going to find facts that support their argument. Remember that. There are facts that support yours too, as long as your argument is not emotion. And it's fact. Otherwise, you just sitting there lying your ass off and being loud. Awesome. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I'm in circles a lot where I hear conversations that, are pretty violent, man. And most of them are based on ignorance. And it's not, ignorance like, someone wants to hurt someone else. It's the ignorance of hearing things or reading things or, watching certain things online and on social media and assuming an entire group is that way. And what tickles me the most is when I'm around other marginalized groups that do that, because I'm like, okay, this is the same group of people that don't want to be lumped together, that's lumping everybody together. But that also keeps me grounded. People are just people. Just because you think some shit in your mind does not mean it's right. I give you that power whenever I get pissed off. You can think whatever you want to. Shit. Grandma would be grandpa, but she ain't got balls. She could go get them, change her gender marker, and be grandpa. Nah, you see what I did there? So remember that. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because these are all things you have to build inside of you, that fortitude, so you don't fall for all this love in all these wrong places. You do not know people online, man. Someone can be anyone they want to be. Not to mention the fact that most people are under the influence of something these days. That's something I had to come to grips with whenever I started communicating online for business reasons, because I'm sober. So, I'm communicating and talking to people, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm coming back. And then I'm like, wait a minute, man, are you drunk or other? And the answer was usually yes. So, you have to remember all of those things. And then you have to think about, too, like watching some of these debates that I watch now is almost like sitting and watching debates that happened back in the 80s between gays and super religious groups on shows like Sally Jesse Raphael and Maury. And it's almost like watching over the KKK and, ultra, Black Panther type groups going back and forth. It's the exact same thing. And it's entertainment more than anything. Because if you look at most of these, even these fools on this thing, they all report the same shit, and it's all their opinion. I laugh at it before I get upset. I mean, one, because I'm grown, I'm older than most of them. But two, I mean, I know who I am, and that's that. Like, I don't. Why would I argue that with anyone except for my creator? And that's not something to argue because my creator created me. So, Sam did nothing wrong by wanting to be with someone, being impulsive and letting your emotions lead you, being the nice guy. That's not for everybody to have. That's a gift that you give to people that work for it. And you make them work for that shit. I hate that this happened to Sam. And the way it happened, I mean, and it's such a good guy, man. There's so many other people I could think. I'm kidding. But no, really, to such a good guy. Y'all take care of yourselves and stay aware. And what I mean by aware is don't fall for the okey doke. Remember that you deserve whatever that person, if somebody is making you go through 21 questions, you ask the same shit right back. If you don't know how to do it, mirror. Where you from? Where you from? What you do? What you do? How long you been there? How long you been there? Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Come right back with it. Shit. He traveled somewhere he'd never been before, far away from home, for 2 weeks. Go 3 days. Take a friend with you. Don't stay there. If you can't do it like that, let it burn until you can. You might find out until then, like in the meantime, you might find out some shit. And I'm not saying all of this to say he shouldn't. I'm saying it to say to you all, be smart. Because see, a lot of times in our community, we'll get caught up in the emotion and skip through the facts of situations. And him passing in vain would be you all not looking at this and working on you from it. Because all he wanted was someone to love him. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't sacrifice yourself in the name of it. And don't ever think that someone's heart is like yours. Don't ever, ever, ever think that. We get rejection on a regular, man. I know. But prepare yourself for it. Hold on to the people that really want to be around you. Nurture those relationships. And the ones that trust your gut, stop ignoring your gut. Stop, because we do that. Stop ignoring your gut is telling you for a reason. That's your intuition. You're disrespecting yourself every time you ignore it. And look what happens every time you do. Y'all check out the Patreon, man. 7-day free trial. All the links, the outlets, my email list will actually be in the description. Jump on the email list. I send out a ton of stuff, and I do not solicit. I'm not that type of person. Um, it's all about love and education, man. It's all about making you all better, personal development, physical development, learning your biology, staying close to that so that you can properly defend yourself in the event that you need to, and knowing when to defend yourself, because everybody ain't worth your Earl. Y'all take care, man. I love y'all. Be safe out there. Don't fall for the okey doke. Sam, I hope you are resting peacefully. We love you. We're sorry this happened to you, brother. And for his family, man, we're really sorry. Like, there's that. I don't even know. What do you say? Other than, I know that me and my camp will do our part to make sure that nobody else goes through this and nobody else is around, just poisonous, cancerous people like this. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let your big toes fight.